as always, is here. And Mr. Nabi, can you please take it over now? Did I mention Rafael Rivera? He's here also. If I forgot anybody, my apologies.
Rafael Rivera is here documenting as well as BronxNet. And we have great people in this room, as Cindy Estrada shared. So honored and privileged to be here with you all. Bienvenidos. Great day. Hola, familia. Welcome to the Pioneer Awards, where the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce recognizes the remarkable achievements of Hispanic pioneers who've made a mighty and lasting impression in our communities. I'm Michael Max Nabi, the Executive Director of BronxNet, su canal, su voz, su opinión, su visión, your public service, multimedia network providing in-depth local coverage and diverse programming across multi-platform channels from the Bronx to the world. Over the course of 3 decades, we provided experiential learning for thousands of middle school, high school, college students, and the public. We are also promoting media literacy, citizen journalism, digital inclusion, and tech equity at BronxNet. We've built studios for you, including BronxNet's network operations on the beautiful campus of Lehman College, and our newest location, has anybody been there? In the South Bronx, the BronxNet Media and Technology Studios at La Central. Please join us at BronxNet as we celebrate 30 years of BronxNet's public services this year for a luncheon at this very venue at noon on October 30th. That's Wednesday, October 30th. Mark it on your calendars and connect with us. We have, and I'm honored to recognize some BronxNet board members that are here. Our chairman is the founder of the largest independent strength sports brand in the world, Generation Iron, Edwin Mejia. And the man that's brought us all here together, a true bridge builder and innovator, Nick Lugo. Gracias, Nick. And our newest board member is here today. Please put your hands together for the CEO and founder of Century, where health and technology merge. The CEO and founder and new BronxNet board member, Steven Rivera. Also, let's please put our hands together for a true pioneer in so many ways for the Bronx, for New York, for BronxNet, and so much more, the Honorable Fernando Ferrer, Bronx Borough President number 11. La historia es la maestra de la vida. History is the teacher of life. From the roots to the branches, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month today and recognize 2 trailblazers, 2 amazing people who have made things happen in our city. And thanks to the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, they are receiving Pioneer Awards today. To tell us more, it is my honor to introduce a true pioneer and prime mover who has played a pivotal role in shaping the culture and identity of New York City, the founder of the 16th Street Festival. He's fostered economic growth and advocates for Hispanic business. Let's give an epic ovation for the founder and president of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Nick Lugo!
Who the hell wants to go and speak after you're here? I refer to him as the voice of God. He's got a fantastic way of talking and getting his word across and the point. So thank you, Michael, for accepting to be our MC here and also to talk about BronxNet And so I actually would like to say that there are many reasons why we at the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce decided to create this event under the name of the Pioneers Award. And it's something that we've been kicking around for a very long time. Got together with many people, and everybody says, yes, let's do it. And then 2 weeks later, you can't find anybody. So what we've done here today is we're going to, since those people are also old timers, right? So we decided, let's just start it as something that the New York City Hispanic Chamber is going to support, along with sponsors and people that continuously help out in the community that they serve. And the sponsors that you see are these kind of people. They're involved and they know it makes good sense to really support community events, and especially something like this that touches the heart of the community itself. And it really transcends to all Hispanics. And we're going to make a point that we will be able to honor other people that are Hispanic, and we all stand on the shoulders of those people that came many years ago. I remember my father would take me to all these meetings. I was just a kid and I was having a great time. He would take me to all the meetings and I would meet all these people that were really running the community. And they were actually city council people, assembly people, community leaders, advocates. We had guys that were very rowdy, like Helena Valentin, who's not with us, but if you remember him, you know. And then we had others like Ramon Velez that created in the South Bronx. He created in the South Bronx a area that was carved out, and it was kind of his territory, and he educated and actually supported and was able to get people to run for politics, and he opened up many programs. And so people like this are the ones that really encourages us today to be able to bring together all of these old timers, although we're not old really, but we are pioneers. And many of the people that are here today are really responsible for the things that we are doing and for which we are trying to enhance. And so it's a great privilege to me to be able to call them my friends, but also to see, and it's a kind of a LOL, but to see them here, because we have actually lost so many. If any of you recall Irma Vidal Santaella, who was a judge and was very much in touch with Felisa Rincon, which was the mayoress in Puerto Rico and who used to fly here to structure and help through her powers to make this community stronger. And so all of these things I can think about, I'm beginning to fade away, but I kind of say to myself, you know, this is a legacy and we haven't put it together. And so what we're trying to do is just that. BronxNet is recording what we're doing here today, and we hope that as we move along and that we honor other pioneers, that this story gets recorded and that people begin to recognize, well, I'm here today because of the people who were here yesterday. And some of those people from yesterday are there because they also got there through someone else. And what we want is just to pay homage and say to everyone else that we understand and that we appreciate what these people have done to make our lives better today, and that we also are concerned about making lives better for our children tomorrow. So with that being said, I kind of wanted just to give you a little bit of a background as to why this is happening. And we are going to have more than one a year. Maybe we'll do 2 or 3, but no matter how many we do, we can't catch up. There's too many, but we will try our very best to get to where we should be. And at this point also, I'd like to introduce someone that I met many, many years ago. And this fellow, I knew when I met him that he was going to be a force because of the way that he conducted himself and the responsibility that he assumed. And just a great guy. And we took pictures in the house of Irma Vidal Santaella. And after saying so many nice things while we were taking a picture, he pickpocketed my wallet. And that goes back a long, long time ago. But I always cherish the moment because to this day, when we talk, I always say, you almost had me, man. You could have left me over there in Midtown with no money. But anyway, he became a judge. Well, he became a lawyer at that time. I think he was just a graduate. And then he became a judge. And little by little, he assumed more and more power in the Bronx and also inside the chambers, where he needed also support from people who were non-Hispanic, but he was able to kind of tie the bridges together and assume the honor of representing and to be able to get to the point where he became, I think it was in the Southern District, the appellate division. He became the Chief Justice who appointed all the other judges under him. And people don't understand, and I'm trying even to say to myself, how can I talk the story? Because I know what he did. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And the people that he was working with, they loved him because he was a straight shooter. And till today, I haven't seen him since he retired, and he's here actually to give one of the awards. And without further ado, I want to present to you Judge Luis Gonzalez. This is his wallet. I can't pickpocket his wallet.
Gracias, Nicolás. Gracias.
Thank you.
Yeah, not the Southern District. The New York State, the appellate division first department is in Manhattan. It's a state court. So I don't want to get in trouble with the FBI if I represent that I represent the federal government. Thank you, Nick. And you were wondering how it was done? Easy. The support of the community. Without the support of the community, you go nowhere. So to me, it was rather easy. But again, not because of anything that I did, but because of the support that I had, unwavering support. It's almost like story material. That's how incredible the support was. And so I believe that I am here to say a few things. I'm sorry. I really did not mean that. I get nervous when I do some public speaking, and I meant just because the last time I introduced him, I said that he could leap over buildings in a single bound. You guys are not old enough to remember Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, blah, 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 blah. I said that about Hector. People did not believe that. So I decided from now on to tell the truth. So therefore, you're really getting the truth today. And by the way, when I speak about the support of people, there are a lot of people in here. Hector was the one who spearheaded every time there was a push for my ascension to a court. Hector was always the one in front doing all the hard work. So thank you, Hector. We also had a young man at that time also, a good-looking guy over there. I think his name is Ferrer, something like that. He was also extremely helpful behind the scenes and pushing for it. So thank you, sir, very much. Okay, as they say in English, without further ado, it gives me, and I wrote it down to make sure that everything was true. It gives me immense pleasure to have been given the honor of introducing, as we say in Puerto Rico, una gloria de nuestra comunidad, a hero in our community. Hector Díaz, again, as we say in Puerto Rico, natural de Carolina, Puerto Rico. And very importantly, Hector, people that know it, U.S. Army veteran. And those folks here that speak German, be careful, because Hector was stationed in Germany, and he knows his German, so be careful what you say in German around him. Well, he even taught me how to say, "Sprechen Sie Deutsch?" Ja! When you look up the definition of public service in a dictionary, you will see a photograph of a young-looking, at that, of Hector Díaz. I met Hector over 40 years ago. I was about 12, I think. And he was a district leader at that time. I was immediately impressed by his friendliness. And as we say in Spanish, his espíritu servicial, a spirit of giving, to be of service. I was very much impressed. He had a willingness to cooperate and to be helpful to anyone needing help. Through the years, I saw that youngster dedicate himself to public service, totally immersed in that pursuit. We, the community, became the beneficiary of that dedication. In discharging his responsibilities, whether civic or governmental, he brought those personal qualities that allowed him to succeed in these endeavors. Qualities that I'm talking about are, for example, he's very unassuming, humble. He has an incredibly strong sense of responsibility, leadership. When he was a county clerk, I was a judge in the Bronx Supreme, and I would pride myself in coming early and thinking that I'm the only one that comes in early. Guess what? Who was already there? I don't know how long before. Hector Díaz, and he made us proud because he was so hardworking, and he was the leader of that unit, and yet he was the first one there. So I guess he led by example. Extremely honest, a very committed individual, loyalty, and one of the things that really stand out with Hector is his wisdom. He is very wise. There were times when I wanted to pass an idea through and ask questions. He would give me sound advice, so I would never hesitate to go to him for advice. So all those qualities really went into his dedication and commitment to make him successful in his endeavors. The following are many of the many responsibilities he undertook, and because of that undertaking, our community benefited immensely. Hector was a Bronx district leader before being elected to the New York State Assembly in 1983. He chaired various standing committees and subcommittees in the Assembly. In 1987, the New York State Assembly Puerto Rican Hispanic Task Force was a... Oh my goodness, I've gotten older than I thought. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, the task force under his leadership in 1987 was created, and he chaired the committee at the task force from its inception. After leaving the assembly, Hector served as the first Latino county clerk in New York State for 14 years. He was also the commissioner of jurors and the clerk of the Bronx County Supreme Court. His tenure as county clerk was followed by service as a clerk of the city of New York. Although Hector retired from governmental service, duties and responsibilities, he did not retire from his commitment, dedication, and energy to civic involvement. Hector has served as chairman of the Bronx Venture Corporation, vice chairman of the South Bronx Mental Health Council, and vice president of the Puerto Rican Conference of Bronx County. He has also represented the Bronx County as commissioner of Board of Election and as a member of the University of the State of New York Education Department, Local Government Records and Advisory Council. Hector has also served as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Unified Court System, Bronx County, and has served as a member of the Board of Trustees of Boricua College. And if that is not enough, commitment and dedication to community service, Hector was president of Acacia Network, a not-for-profit organization, which, to my knowledge, is the largest Hispanic organization in New York State and second largest in the nation. Then there is Hector, the family man, married to Miriam Martinez Diaz, the love of his life, and a retired principal of PS 25 in the Bronx. And with the making the unit is his two children, Jessica and Ricardo. Hector would not hesitate to share with you his acknowledgement that all of the accomplishments and contributions to the community would not have been possible without Miriam's support. Without Miriam's support and hard work. The old-time tested popular proverb, behind every successful man, there is a woman, aptly reflects their relationship. However, let's be fair to Hector. Behind every successful woman, there is a man. So we're trying to do justice here. The only time I saw Hector's humility slip a little was when Hector and Miriam drove me home. We lived near each other. Hector had just been honored, and on the way home, he mused out loud to Miriam, "Honey, it's on these occasions that I wonder how many great men there are in this world." Without missing a beat, Miriam said, "One less than you think, Buster." So she kept them going through the straight and narrow. Now comes the nice part. You will come up here, young man, please.
Yes. Congratulations.
He should, in case he doesn't know, he should know that he is liked, more importantly, beloved by his community, grateful community for all the sacrifices he has made on behalf of the community. So we are very, very grateful to you, Hector Díaz. Aquí, déjame coger esto aquí. I'm sorry, before you begin, you really should know this. When I took Nick's wallet, I gave it back to him. He had $0.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Justice Luis Gonzalez, my brother. I'll send you a check as you requested. Good afternoon, everyone. It is actually so wonderful to see so many friends that I haven't seen for a long, long time. And I like it. I like to be able to see my friends. So let me begin by expressing my most sincere gratitude to Nick Lugo and the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors for bestowing this significant honor to me, especially since we are celebrating today our beautiful Hispanic heritage. But as I stand here before you, I truly believe that it is I who should be recognizing Nick, Lugo, and Cindy for their outstanding dedication and support which they provided during the development and the creation of the Somos Conference. Without you, Nick, the conference would not have been as successful as it was. And for over 30 plus years, 37, the conference is still going strong. And so do you, Nick. You're going stronger, and I'm really proud. So today, Nick and Cindy, I thank you for your leadership and your friendship. May God bless each and every one that is here today. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, or good afternoon. My name is Nancy Hernandez. I'm Deputy Controller of Diversity for New York State Controller Tom DiNapoli, who couldn't be here, who I know is a long-standing friend of yours and a supporter of the New York City Hispanic Chamber, and certainly still celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, which we're in that mode right now. But since he couldn't be here, graciously, I accepted being here as always as his representative and also a Bronx native. So it gives me such pleasure to congratulate you. Certainly thank you for all that you've done, not only for the Bronx, but all New York State, for all the Latinos, all the Hispanics. I mean, right now we're about 40% in upstate New York, and I often tell people downstate, hey, don't forget, we're up there too. And many of us migrated from the city up there to make a difference, and we are. And it's a strong impact, and it's for chambers and recognitions of all those who, like Hector, have contributed to our community and what they do to elevate our mission, our purpose in life. Thank you so much for what you've done and for the growth of the Bronx.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. knew that I forgot to congratulate Joe Ithier, an outstanding leader, my brother, Joe Ithier.
Well, that was moving, I'll tell you that. And I so much appreciate that Hector has also acknowledged the fact that we used to have such a great time when we first started, Somos. And so I got one more story before I go on to the next person. We were on a bus in Somos, and we were going, I think it was to Mayagüez, and everybody was having a ball. Everybody's drinking on the bus. Everybody's got all kinds of equipment to make noise. And all of a sudden, someone says, Nick, why don't you marry Millie? And I said, what are you talking about? And next thing, Judge Gonzalez gets up and starts doing the whole ceremony of matrimony. And I'm saying, oh, look at him. And so it proceeded to the point that he says, and now I pronounce you man and wife. And Millie says to me, there we are. And I looked at Louis, and I said, and this goes years ago. But what happened was that we kept on going, and the bus almost got to Mayagüez when Luis gets up, and he says, wait a second, I have something to say. And so Luis gets up and he says, I have thought about it, and what I have done and what I have said is not valid. I'm not supposed to do this in Puerto Rico. So I have no jurisdiction. So as you can see, all of these people, pioneers and old timers, we have been around together for a very, very long time. And we know each other for a very, very long time. And so we partied and we've done work together, and it's been great. But another person that I kind of, we have dinner every once in a while, I'd say about every 3 months, and we try to keep in touch with everything that goes on. And so I'd like to be able to bring up the Honorable Freddie Ferre, so that Freddie and I and most of us here have been together for a very long time. And so I would like for President of the Borough of the Bronx prior to making this speech come to the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. When Nick first told me that Hector and Joe were being honored as pioneers, it wasn't that long ago, I think, that we were being called Young Turks. At least I like to think it wasn't that long ago. But it was. When you reflect on it, Joe and I have been friends for closing in on 60 years. Friends and colleagues. I was pleased when he accepted my offer when I became borough president to serve in my administration. And he was stalwart, smart, and effective. If you can imagine a stone wall and you asked him to accomplish something, there was a silhouette of him punching through it. And he did it all the time. And he did it well. A terrific public servant and a terrific friend. What more do you want? But that's not the only reason to recognize his service. He really did, as a member of my administration and other public charges he engaged in, he really did care about the people he served. Now that sounds like it's a given, but it's not. Not everybody who serves in a public position really cares. He does, and did. And it was obvious. It was also obvious that as time marches on, we're no longer the Young Turks. But I remember when we were, and those were good days. Hector and I and Joe and a few others in this room remember the thrill of service when we were young. Now that we're older, more mature, more seasoned, more experienced, more something, we look on those days with great pride and pleasure. I think very few people will be able to look at their service with more pride and pleasure than Joe Ithier. I certainly won't, because he was a superb public servant, an exceptional public servant, and somebody who, over the course of nearly 60 years, I'm proud to call my colleague, but more than that, my friend, Joe Ithier.
Next time, we're gonna get you a real eagle.
I'm too old to hold that eagle, you know.
There's a real one, it'll fly with you.
Let me first say, thank you, God. Those who know, the last 3 years has been rough with cancer, with the side effects, with not talking to people, sleeping in the guest room, and secondly, too emotional. Luisa, thank you for being there with me, to keep me alive, to keep me moving. When the doctor said, you're gonna be in a wheelchair, or maybe die, because of the heart, the kidney, the prostate cancer, all coming into effect, she was there by my side, along with my son JP and my extended adopted children, Anthony and Joey, and oh, there you are, Natalie. The family kept me going. The friends who had me in prayer circles, the DA who was here earlier, just to say hello, who every day reached out and texted and called the borough president, Vanessa Gibson, who also in their duties. So thank you to all my friends and family. I must say that people ask me, so what are you doing now that you're retired? Well, there's a guy back there, Chris Mastromano, who heads Jacoby and North Central, and his whole team suckered me in to be on the Community Advisory Board. and not only to be on the board, but got elected the chair of the board, and that's what keeps me occupied. And when you've gone through all the medical stuff and you're still alive, that's a good place to be involved in. Because let me tell you, if there's an issue and I collapse at a meeting, I got all the doctors I need, the nurses, and Chris a phone call away. But that's where I hang my hat these days, along with Weasel, who was there for, 38 years at the hospital? About 38 years at both Jacoby and NCB, and she's the one who said, we gotta do something that we're retired, and that's what we do. Hanging out, marketing, making sure that our constituents, our people, get health care. And next month is breast awareness, and we're having a mammogram day. It's so important to take care of our health. And when we get our age, you pray that you wake up in the morning. I also have to say, people always ask me, how did Freddie and you get together? Well, it wasn't Freddie who I knew, it was Aramina who I knew, because we all belong to Aspida. And I will remember, like it was yesterday, Freddie was at Spelman, Aramina was at the Cathedral, I was at Rivers High School. You know, they were elite. But we became friends. We became friends. And over a hamburger on 149th Street, as high school kids, I said to Freddie, you know, one day, Freddie, I think you're gonna run the show in this town. And God listened. 14 years as borough president. 14, the longest serving president. And not only that, but the first Puerto Rican. And did we break doors down? So yeah, and then there were rumors that Freddie and I lived together. He was supposed to roast me. I think it's time to roast everybody in this room. Freddie and I did live together in Albany because we were these poor kids working for the Speaker of the Assembly. And Freddie brought the pots, I brought the plates and forks. And then we said, wait a minute, why should we be cooking when we could get food to put in the oven and have something at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? So we had a good run. And out of that, I met Hector Díaz. I met Angelo Del Toro. Peter Rivera, who's in the room somewhere. Peter Rivera, who I worked on his last campaign, right, as his campaign manager, and we won. And he became the Speaker pro tem. And then this Jewish guy came into my life, and I couldn't get rid of him, Steve Kaufman. And along with these guys came Louis Torres. Louis is in the room somewhere, I think, yes? All these guys who became assembly of people. And Freddie and I were just the staffers, making a pittance, and we had a good run. And Hector comes along and says, you know what, it's time to break away from the Black Hispanic Caucus. That's what it was called then. Black Hispanic, with Arthur Eve out of Buffalo. And he said, us Latinos. I remember when I had to stop a fight between Louis Nine and Armando Montano, because the two of them were boxers. They were like, yeah, I'm bigger than... Louis was big, Montano was short, and the speaker says, you gotta go stop your Puerto Rican guys. They don't know how to act in the assembly. Good times. And somos el futuro, somos uno, somos pa'l carajo, y seguimos pa'lante, y ahora somos. But it all started there, and the great Ramon Vélez who put us all together. I leave the borough president because Freddie's turned out, and some guy called, George Pataki calls me on my cell, and I said, yeah, and I'm Mickey Mouse, yeah. the state troopers called me and said, the governor's trying to get a hold of you. And he's called Albany. So I did, and it was the governor who wanted me to come on board and run 9/11 citywide after 9/11 with the funds for economic development. But he asked me to do one thing. You just got out of the Bronx, so you know those characters up there. You know the Puerto Ricans, how they act. I want to promote a guy named Luis Gonzalez. And the governor's the one who has to do that. So what happens is I have to go see this guy. Because you can't get to Luis Gonzalez unless you go through Hector Díaz, the clerk. So I called Hector, I ran up back to the Bronx, back to the courthouse, and we put together the whole event to make Luis Gonzalez, which was an honor and a pleasure. And it was my first assignment with the governor then. So it's been a long run. We've had fun. And to you, Nick, Dad was selling tickets, airline tickets, and our dear friend, Freddie, John Katsimatidis, had airplanes, and Nick used to go and do the tickets in the bathroom. And with the carbon copies, selling the plane tickets for John Katsimatidis. That's how long ago. But the greatest moment I have is meeting Nick, because my mother had Meriluz Beauty Salon, where I grew up. I was an adopted child by a nice Puerto Rican family. And what happened in my life, I had no brothers or sisters. Today, this is family. Today, I don't feel as that lonely kid who studied by himself, who lived alone, who my mother was working 9 to 5 in the beauty parlor. I know about tinte para mujeres, what color is golden and what silver, because I mix the colors of Claro, bottle number 9 and bottle number 16. So you can't jive with me about who dyes their hair. I know about dyeing hair. So Nick, there was Frank Díaz, there was Nunez, Julius, there were very few. Back in those days, history, there was a radio program on Saturdays that ran just for a couple of hours, and Nick's father, my mother, and 3 other people were the sponsors of La Voz Latina, Musical, de Puerto Rico, and so we didn't have what we have today. So thank you. And the greatest moment I had, Nick threw a little street festival on Prospect Avenue and 149th Street, and he brought stars from Puerto Rico because he worked for the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico in New York. He was a big shot running. He brought these superstars, and one of them was Iris Chacon. Now, when you're a young buck and you're standing on a little stage like that with a couple of little speakers, because Nick wasn't doing 116 with the elaborate stuff, and Chucho Avellanet and some other great stars, and I am standing by Nick's side, and Iris Chacon turns around and says, "Mijo, ¿cómo yo me voy a trepar en eso?" And I looked up and down and I said, "Yo no sé. Agájame por la nalga y súbeme ahí para yo." And I had the honor and pleasure at my young age to agajar la nalga of la bandera de Puerto Rico because of Nick. So thank you for the memories. Thank you to all the people I was involved. And Freddie, we had a great time, from bringing Colin Powell to the Bronx, to Celia Cruz's birthday party, And Nick used to go, "You're crazy, Joe, but you're the Cecil the meal of the Bronx." We did great stuff. 14 years. Thank you, Aramina, for knowing you then. And to Millie, because Millie became my sister and calls and checks on me, and without her, he ain't nobody. And I could say that because I know him a long time. And to the love of my life, thank you for keeping me alive, for keeping me. The doctors are saying I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And to my new boss, you're my boss, my whole family at Jacoby North Central. If you are ill or something, go visit our hospitals. They're really, really good. They have good things. And Nick, if you don't remember, you brought to Jacoby at the main room there at the atrium, what do you call it out there? Atrium? He brought for a Cinco de Mayo, a mariachi band and taquitos and all that at Jacoby, never to be forgotten. So to you, mi familia, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for keeping me alive. Old time, Federico, who hung out with me, used to call me Jesus Christ Superstar. We had a great run. Gracias por esto, and to the great team of Cindy and Hilda who have worked non-stop for this event today. Gracias, and we're still alive, this whole crew.
Quick second. This is a citation from the controller who always goes out of his way and is interested in people who are making a difference in the community. He knows your life story. He read the bio. He said, when is it ending? And we laughed about it, but he was so impressed with everything you've done. A trailblazer, certainly a servant of the community, and he thanks you, and he graciously thanks you. On a personal note, Joe, thank you so much for being a great friend to my family, my dad. And hearing your story, I want to read your book. That's why he's still here. He has to write a memoir, a book, because all your stories are fantastic. Thank you for bringing the Bronx to life and certainly making me feel like I'm back at home. Congratulations.
And if you haven't tapped into the state controller, you should, because there's always money. I just made $100 the other day.
19 billion.
Congratulations.
Well, let me tell you, all these, this is what all right, so look, this is what I mean about bringing together these old-timers, pioneers. As you can see, they got a lot of stories, and even if they're not true, they make them up, you know. I mean, it all depends how good it is, you know. But we're always joking. We're always having a good time, and we recall the old times because they lead into the new times. I would like to, Eileen Guzzo. Oh, Eileen, let me introduce you. She's our chair lady for IT and sits on our board of directors for the chamber. So she has something which is very important for all of you. If you have children in college or have grandchildren, I want you to listen to this.
Buenas tardes, mi gente. Felicidades a Joe Ithier and Hector Díaz. Muchas felicidades to our Pioneer Awards. I'm Eileen Guzzo. I'm with the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I also am the IT chairperson to the chamber. And we have a great partnership with Fordham University that I want to tell you about today. If you look on your table, there's a couple of flyers. I would like you to hover your phone over the QR code and check out the seminar coming up with Fordham University. Fordham affords the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce once a year a full ride scholarship to a master's degree in cybersecurity. We've had 5 young local Latinos go through the program thus far, the last 5 years. We are looking for the next generation, the next 5 or 6, usually it's less than 10 that apply. We're looking for the next few students that want to apply. Do a free ride, full scholarship to a master's degree in cybersecurity. It's about $100,000 a year. The student that applies now this fall would be entering the master's program next fall, fall 2025. We've already have Joseph Medina got selected this year and he's starting this fall. With that, also I want to tell you that we're running a cybersecurity seminar at Fordham University, October 18th at 11 a.m. It's a 1-hour seminar. We have the first woman Chief Security Information Officer with New York City Cyber Command. She used to be NYPD, for the NYPD, now she runs the New York City Cyber Command. She's going to be speaking and addressing the crowd at Fordham University, October 18th at 11 a.m. We'd like all businesses, people that are interested in the subject, to attend the seminar and be part of what we're doing here for Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you.
So look, I don't know if this, I know that there is a lot of talk, and so sometimes you don't really get to the point that you get the meat and potatoes here. But Fordham University, through the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, is offering a postgraduate degree worth $100,000 each year, 2 years. Okay, it's 2 years. That means $200,000. And unless you have a lot of money and you want to pay, the best thing would be for you to put an application in through Eileen so that Fordham can look at it and they can choose one of our candidates to receive that postgraduate degree, and you can relieve yourself of having to spend $200,000. Because when the kids come and say, Mommy, Daddy, I'm going to go get a postgraduate degree, it only costs $100,000 a year. You know, that's when you begin to realize that this is a great deal, and it's really something that I really want you to think of. Doesn't have to be for any of you, if you know of anyone. We just want to make sure that that scholarship is gotten, and that there is someone from the community that is going to avail themselves of a great education, and it's a great step forward. With that, I want to give you the voice of God once more. The little voice of God.
They asked me to do closing remarks, and I don't really have a lot to say because of the incredible people that are here and everything has been said. I do want to thank Hector and Joe for being here, and of course Judge Gonzalez, everybody that's here. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry. We do have Mr. and Mrs. Alfredo Rodriguez also joining us here. I did want to mention that if you're not a member of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, I please urge you to join so we can continue doing events like this. We try and do events that involve the community and give credit to our people. It's very important. I did want to say something to the judge. I know that Puerto Rico was not your territory, but I must tell you that that day at the wedding, at the bus, you signed the napkin, and Millie still has it. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you know, Nick, that you got married 3 or 4 years before actual wedding. Okay, with that, I give you my vote. Thank you.
Gracias, Cindy. Yes, those napkins, you got to keep those napkins. It's a tangible heritage. And, you know, we have to acknowledge also the captain for NYPD Community Affairs, Captain Lori Perez. Let's give a huge ovation to the 2024 New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Pioneer Award honorees, Hector Díaz and Joe Ithier. Joe, thank you for always being there for the Bronx, for always being there for New York, for always being there for BronxNet. We have footage of Joe on the Grand Concourse for La Parada Dominicana del Bronx and the Puerto Rican Day Parade of the Bronx. And, you know, these are stories we're continuing to tell. And we've got to thank the folks that helped make today's Pioneer Awards possible with the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Please put your hands together for Bronx Care Health System, Jacoby Hospital, John Castamartides and Red Apple Group, and a real community bank, Ponce Bank. Our BronxNet cameras are here telling the stories from the Bronx to the world. We got team members including Kyrie, Guillermo, Andrea, Lehman College student Carlos Pons right there, and we are making sure to document and preserve these epic stories. We also have at our table over there, Natalia, Audrey, Juanita to answer questions about BronxNet's 30th anniversary. Join us on October 30th at noon at this very venue. It's gonna be a big celebration. We have a lot to celebrate in our city. Somos Familia. We are proud to partner with the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and you, stronger together. Abrazos Familia. Keep all city and world strong. Para siempre.